Okay, hello. My name is Reljo Saarepera. I'm from Estonia Regional and Local Development Agency. It's an executive agency for the Estonian National Level Council of Local Governments, and we help local innovation and local business and local development. And we see bioreactors and biorefineries as a big step toward local innovation and local business opportunity. So therefore, if we speak about the biorefineries, then, well, first when I was asked to give a presentation today, I was asked to speak about bioreactors. And then I looked up that in the schedule I was marked that I will speak about biorefineries. Well, actually, in the EU documentation and EU wordings, there's a huge difference between those two. Because at the moment, biorefineries are more or less taken over by or understood as biofuel production. So it's basically bioethanol, biodiesel, very similar to the gasoline refinery. Well, people know what a refinery is and they don't mind to think further. So therefore, I will maybe focus more on the bioreactor as the core of the biorefinery as we understand it. But in the general terms, the priority when we speak about bioenergy, biobusiness in EU, the priorities are actually three things. Energy security. The second one is feeding the world, making the world a better place. Well, we all know that it's always there in the behind. And of course, the waste management. And the waste management doesn't only mean the waste as a solid thing or as a watery thing, but also in terms of air pollution and waste in the broadest understanding of the word. So we go for the bioreactor, and as I already stated in between, it's actually pretty opinionated subject or topic, because all the lobbyists, especially of the biogas companies, bioethanol, biodiesel, they are trying to say that this is only their thing. So therefore, I ask you to have a broader mindset, broad understanding. We shouldn't be too narrow, focusing on the other, because all they are good things, but they all have their own role in this business. And when I was asked to speak about the strategy, I will focus on the strategy itself later. Then there actually is a strategy. It's called the Innovating for Sustainable Growth, a Bioeconomy for Europe. So there is actually a document on it. And it has three key pillars. One is the research that we are here mainly today for. Second is market development business, because EU feels that they don't have enough funds to support it, so that they think that the market will support it itself. For example, EU envisions that by 2025, the bioenergy will generate about 45 billion of business. And this sector will employ in EU 130,000 new employees. So this is the EU vision. Will it be realized? I don't know, but this is the vision. And of course, stronger policy coordination and engagement with stakeholders. And this is something that would be also very beneficial for us if there would be some real possibility to be among one of the major stakeholders that will present their case to the EU as well as business community. And also, biorefineries and bioreactors are actually not a new thing to the EU. The first projects already emerged during the FARA project phase, if somebody remembers it, even back at that time. It was something somewhere in the end of the 90s, around that time, where the first EU money already given to the bioreactor research. But the bigger money was spent in the beginning and mid 2000 years. And when the EU made a now conclusive research, what has been financed, so they found that there emerges actually 4 sectors where they see a potential that has been moving forward during those research periods. And it was so in the field of chemical industries, including actually biotechnology and pharmacy, sugar and starch sector, forestry, I know it's very big in Finland, and also our project has had some success with forestry, pulp and paper, and of course biofuels. Well, I personally wouldn't use butanediol as a fuel, but definitely can be used as a fuel, but I see there are more profitable uses to it. But it burns quite harmlessly in the gasoline engines. So EU, you see, they make some publicity as well, so they want to make sure that you know that they have noticed the topic is there, they realize it, and they support it. But now when we try to go a bit narrower, because we live in a Baltic Sea region. So I spoke with the JTS, or Joint Technical Secretariat, discussing what would be appropriate new topic for our projects. So they said that unfortunately bioreactor itself has not found yet the way into the Baltic Sea region strategy. This is something we hope to get the support of the national governments from Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Germany, that you would support this kind of lobby, that maybe bioenergy would be mentioned in terms of bioreactors also in the strategies. But of course, we can fit, if we try to find if the local strategy supports it, then at least two places where I found that the texts heavily supports it is the water treatment, wastewater treatment, manure treatment, and the second one is blue energy that cannot be achieved without the use of bioreactor. And blue energy is actually a very popular thing at the moment. And it's basically just the biomass from the sea, usually artificially grown. But in EU level, there are many calls for the blue energy. There are some strains of money for the research how to use bioreactors in waste treatment, special wastewater treatment, also production systems, meaning waste avoidance, waste reduction. And at the moment, when I studied the calls for the next year, then they support the study of bioreactors as energy solution, waste management solution, novelty technology, or as part of the self-sustainable community, meaning that whole sum of different processes that can sustain one community, from the production of goods to the waste management of goods, and self-sufficient energy production. But now when we go for the EU strategies, I was asked to speak, so I don't speak on my own. I borrowed the presentation from the EU because the reason I added it to my presentation is that so that you don't have to go to search it on the internet, so you can find it here. So there is a European strategy, as told, and it's already promoted by the EU. And I think that those topics that they understood as important, I agree with most of them, but I would like to see maybe less fuels and more innovation. Because I think that biogas is not at the moment as profitable. Biodiesel is not as profitable because it will always be compared to the price of regular diesel. So therefore, my personal suggestion to you is always go for the more profitable streams, go for the as profitable streams as possible. Even though the production may be a bit more expensive, but it's worth the trouble. And luckily for our Finnish friends, the EU has actually realized that the biggest potential is in Scandinavian forests for the bioenergy. So this is the biggest cluster area that the EU has actually recognized. And well, I personally see also another one, it's called Siberia, but I don't know if we can actually get our hands to it. Maybe in the future. And Canada, of course. So this is about the former projects that have already been done. There has been some research. and some very nice handy tools from the bioplastic. Well, at the moment, bioplastic is a bit more expensive. So that's the problem why it's not so widely used at the moment. But it's there. And actually in Estonia, in some green procurements, I know that it has been even conditioned that you should have the light switches made of the green plastic. So there is actually also potential in strategies. Because if we want to pull those things forward, then one strategical way to approach it is to include it in green procurement, in social procurement, so that we have the public sector to drive the economy toward the bioenergy cluster. It's the pillars again. And of course, if EU promised public funding, then it's in the horizon, and hopefully it will be also in the follow-up projects of the Similar to Life and some other equal projects. It will be included. And even there are talks about the bioenergy instrument from the EU side. It's not decided yet, but they are planning to have a special bioenergy instrument on the EU level. So, because this is not my presentation, I will not focus on it that more, but I noticed that I started my speech when I should have finished it, so I tried to be very short. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Reljo.